Now it is visible.
Is it visible now, sir?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So good afternoon, one and all. My name is Sushit. I am representing Batch 5 under the guidance of Professor Pratap MS. My seminar topic is a hybrid machine learning model for battery cycle life prediction. These are the contents. Let's start with the introduction. Among the various electrochemical energy storage devices, lithium-ion batteries power the lives of millions of people each day. Their application ranges from electric vehicles to industrial applications to power electronics, semiconductors, and many more.
Can someone tell him? I can't hear anything. I don't know.
Obtained power decreases over the battery lifetime after many cycles. If the battery is replaced too early, it may lead to economic loss, and if it's too late to be replaced, it will have a greater impact on stability and safety of the system. So hence, if one can understand the battery life status in advance, you can undoubtedly find a balance between economy and reliability. So coming to literature survey, the first paper describes lithium-ion battery life cycle prediction with deep learning regression model. So these are the authors. This paper presents a data-driven regression model to predict the life cycle of lithium-ion battery. The model which they have used is built based on 5 different key features. The first one is the internal resistance, which is required to control the discharge current. The second one is the temperature rises due to the heat generated when the battery is discharging. The third one is the variance in discharge voltage. It is observed that the voltage of the battery varies significantly depending on the discharge voltage and discharge current. So all these 5 features were calculated at each cycle, and they have employed a deep learning regression model. This model predicted that the life cycle is about 60 cycles, while true life cycle was around 90 cycles. This method is well suited in scenarios where battery serves as a backup device. Disadvantages of the deep learning regression model is the complexity. Usually, a deep learning regression model consists of thousands of layers and many parameters, but they have considered only 5 parameters here. So the first parameter is the temperature. Which describes the loss of available lithium ions in the battery. They have integrated a BAT algorithm into a particle filter to improve prediction accuracy. They have used particle filter to find the probability distribution function. So the result of this paper includes that this algorithm mimics the predation behavior of bats and moves the particle to high likelihood region to improve particle distribution. The last paper, which I have referred titles as cycle life prediction of lithium ion battery based on DEPE neural network. DE stands for differential evolution algorithm and BP is backpropagation. This paper selects the total cutoff voltage, the total discharge voltage, and internal resistance of the battery as input. The basic idea of the differential evolution algorithm is that you have to weight A individuals and B individuals, then add the weights of these two individuals to third individual to generate the fourth individual, then compare the fourth individual with the preset individual and select the fitness value. They have used 400 sets of data as a data set. So the backpropagation algorithm uses this algorithm to optimize the initial weight and threshold of the neural network. It reduces the randomness of initial weight and threshold and reduces the number of iteration of the neural network. There is a case study on my topic. Uh, the transport in Europe is responsible of about a quarter of greenhouse gas emissions. Road traffic in Europe is main source of traffic noise affecting cities' livability and people health. So the introduction of electric vehicles such as battery electric vehicles electric vehicle. The capacity of the battery in particular is a key parameter as it affects the electric vehicle range and dynamic performance as well. So in this case study, they have considered the parameters related to the battery such as temperature, charge discharge cycle rate, and then an aging model is then carried out, which is laws on the basis of EV usage. EV usage in the sense the vehicle specifications, that is vehicle mass, area, motor speed, and so on. Then they have considered different driving cycles. UDC stands for urban driving cycles. It means the style in which an individual drives the electric vehicle, and the the road grade, it means the type of road on which the electric vehicle is moving, and then aerodynamic drag and wheel resistance. The second model computes the power supplied by the inverter. The third model computes the power supplied or uh, delivered to the battery. The fourth model computes the state of charge, and finally the last reliability model computes the
Sushit, you are not audible.
Yes, ma'am. I will be back in few minutes, ma'am. Network issue, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
with the advancement of technology. With the advancement of technology. Hello.
Okay, okay. Carry on, carry on. Share the PPT and carry on.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir, my network got something issue. With the advancement of technology, another approach was proposed, that is the data-driven approach. It is mainly dependent on availability of large quantities of sensor data. Then comes the hybrid approach, which combines the strengths of the above two approaches. The hybrid approach consists of a shallow learning model called the RVM and the deep learning model called the CNN. RVM is used to generate the artificial cells to expand the original dataset. So this expanded dataset serves as an input-output pair for optimizing the architecture. First, the CNN learns locally invariant features from input data, and then would be the capacity difference between capacity and voltage between 10 to 100 cycles, and the output will be the cycle life of the battery cell. A publicly available dataset was employed in this study. Then a graph of cycle lives of cells in the training dataset against the variance of capacity were plotted. It can be observed that most of these cells have a cycle life around 500 cycles. It is highlighted in the red circle. So this may lead to overfitting of the model. So this issue motivated to generate cells with high cycle lives as an attempt to expand the original training dataset. Generation of artificial cells involves two processes. The first is determining the capacity difference between capacity discharge curve and the generating corresponding life cycles using RVM model. When the graph is plotted, it can be observed that there is a strong relationship between these two entities by spline interpolation. Then they have employed the hybrid RVM plus CNN model structures like this. The whole model consists of 6 one-dimensional convolutional layers, 2 max pooling layers, 2 fully connected layers, and a regression layer stacked from top to bottom. It takes the original dataset along with the artificially generated dataset as input. Then the convolution layers are then used to extract locally invariant features from input sequence in each pair. Each convolution layer uses multiple filters to generate several feature sequences. These filters move horizontally along the input sequence and repeat the same computation for each region. Then each max pooling layer calculates the max value for each rectangular neighborhood for future selection, so that the output of after max pooling will contain only most prominent features. After passing through a stack of convolution max pooling layers, the input sequence reaches the fully connected layer. Finally, a regression layer, which receives all the neurons that contain the life cycle relevant information, outputs an estimated target corresponding to the input sequence.
Repeat once again, input.
The performance of the proposed hybrid approach was compared with other state-of-art RVM and CNN models. It is observed that the hybrid approach outperforms both. With
Sushit, explain input again.
the input of the hybrid RVM CNN is the capacity difference between capacity and voltage discharge cell. And output is the cycle life of the battery cell.
ನಿಮ್ದು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಶನ್ ವಿಸಿಬಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Sir.
Share madam.
Yes, sir. Is it visible now, sir?
Yeah.
Sir, the input of this hybrid approach is the capacity difference between capacity and voltage curve. Capacity of a battery is defined as the ability of the battery to provide power, and the voltage is the pressure. They have taken this as input and predicting the cycle life of the battery cell as output, sir.
What about current?
Sir?
You are taking only voltage.
Sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Why? Because
what about current?
Paper they have stated that.
No. See, thing is, both will be there.
Sir, current is not directly related. There is no strong relation between current and.
How do you define current in battery? Can you hear?
Yes,
Sushit, how do you define current in battery?
Sir, current, the flow of charge from one electrode to another electrode is defined as current.
What will be the voltage in the battery?
Sir, voltage for the movement of charges from one electrode to electrode, it requires some pressure. So that pressure is called.
Here, which battery you are taking? There are a lot of voltages there. 3 volts is there, 1.5 there, 12 volts is there. So which battery you are taking? 12 volts you are taking?
Yes, sir. Lithium ion
what is the ampere hour? See, you are written in the output that is 1100 milliampere hour. Ampere is nothing but it is a current. If the battery is having 12 volts, then
yes,
if you say it is a 50 Ah, 50 ampere hour, 80 ampere hour, 100 and 120 ampere hour is depends on the battery load usage. Suppose if it is a 80 ampere hour, it gives half an hour support. 120, it gives 1 hour support for specific load. You know that?
No, sir.
Sushit, you know that?
No, sir, I have no idea.
No, in any battery, see, you are working, doing seminar on hybrid ML. Before that, you should know the main, the working principle of the battery. If you take any of the battery, so battery, the voltages depends on the which device you are going to connect to the battery. If the device is required 12 volts, then you have to use the 12 volts battery. The battery is always the battery should live. That is what you will be using 12 volts voltage. That is voltage to on the battery. That's all. But the current is it is a load. Correct. Suppose if you are connecting 2 kVA, 2 kilovolt ampere of the load, your residential load to any one of the UPS. Suppose if the UPS capacity is 2 kVA, then you will be connecting 2 batteries because it requires 2 batteries, 12 volts and 12 volts, 24 volts. So you are using 12 volts, two batteries, 24 hours. Now it is connected. The battery is connected, but I don't know how much hour it gives. But the battery, the power is given, power support is given based on the ampere hour. If you are using 80 ampere hour, 24 volts battery for 2 kVA, it gives 1 hour backup. If you use 50 kVA, then it gives half an hour backup. It is like that. But this current ampere hour is nothing but it is a current. Current is nothing but it is a load. If you are not going to connect any load, if you are not, you just going to connect the batteries to the UPS, if you are not going to switch on any of the light or fan in your residence, then it is connected. Battery is also on, the UPS is also on, but there is no any load. Then it gives the 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours based on the self load.
Yes,
If
sir.
you connect the full load of 2 kVA, the battery gives half an hour backup. 120 or 80, it gives 1 hour back. It all depends on the batteries. That is what always ampere hour is calculated the backup power. That you should know. Then only you can take this voltage is only to switch on the batteries. That's all. If the battery is having 12 volts, then you can switch on because inside the battery there will be a cell. Each cell is having 1.5 volts. That cells are connected serially for negative and positive. Two polarities will be there, positive and negative. When you are connecting the this thing positive to positive, positive to negative, negative to positive only, you have to connect in between batteries to add the voltages. If you connect negative to negative, positive positive, voltage will not be not going to add. If you want to connect the two batteries, then you have to connect negative positive, negative positive. Then only it gives 24 volts. These are the minimum basic fundamentals of this one battery. You should know. Now you tell me, you are collecting the information from current or voltage.
Sir, capacity means I have listened everything you said, sir. You said
Yeah, that backup power is depends on the current.
yes, sir. You said the
Current
charge.
is nothing but load.
Yes,
I
sir.
always remember.
Okay, sir. I understood, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, see, in your house, voltage is there, just to switch on. But if you put the 60 volt battery bulb, then 60 volt watts, 60 watts, wattage is always current. That is a load. 60 watts bulb, if you switch on, the energy meter will run. So based on that units, the charges will come. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you tell me now.
Sir, they have considered. I have listened everything for what you said, sir. You said
Okay.
the charge and discharge cycle. You said the
Yeah.
battery lasts to 6 hours, 8 hours. But
Yeah.
what they have predicting is the calendar year, sir. How long the battery lasts for?
That is what, see, your this thing is, you're using machine learning model for battery cycle life reduction. The life of the battery, isn't
Yes,
it?
sir. Yes, sir.
I can say the life of the battery 24 volts. If you connect 2 kVA, then it gives 80 Ah. If it is 80 Ah, it gives half an hour. That's all. But here only the life of the battery you are going to calculate.
Yes, sir. Only life, sir.
Okay.
What you are saying, half an hour, the 6 hours, that is the
That is
charge
the backup.
discharge cycle. Charge discharge cycle duration you are saying, sir. But what
Yeah, that
I
is
have
the backup.
yes, sir. What I have chosen is the calendar year.
Yeah,
I
okay.
mean, how
If you are
long
taking the calendar
battery lasts.
year, if you are taking the calendar year, now you tell me what are the inputs you are going to take from battery.
Capacity of the battery and the voltage of the battery, sir.
Capacity nothing but ampere hour.
Capacity, yes, sir. The power that the
Then
battery delivers is the capacity.
then voltage.
Then voltage. I mean, not
Tell me
the
now.
difference between these two, sir. They have considered the input as the difference between capacity and voltage.
Okay, next.
Then the output will be that one. The data set they have considered consists of a minimum finite data set. So hence they motivated, as you can see here, sir. I have highlighted in the red area.
Mm.
Most the data set they have considered consists of cells lasting for 500 cycles. Most of them lasted for 500 cycles. So if you use this data set as input for the model, it may lead to overfitting.
No, how do you collect this data? How do you collect this data from battery?
Sir, publicly available data set, sir. I mean, we don't have to collect manually. It is already available.
Correct. How do they collect?
Sir, a battery consists of cells. A
Yes.
cell is made up of two electrodes, an electrolyte, and a separator.
Yes, that is a copper plates. Tell me.
Yes, sir. So they have considered a 124 here. You can see 124 commercial lithium ion. They have collected that, and they have charged on a constant condition, same power supply and anything. Then they have calculated the data set, sir.
So it's all not. Then you, if you are taking only the 124 commercial lithium plates, need not to calculate with the battery. Anywhere you can calculate this. No? Why do you take battery only? Because all this should be immersed in uh, liquid, you know.
Yes, sir. Electrolyte. Yes, sir.
Electrolyte and this one with the distilled waters.
Yes, sir.
No, no. If this is okay, if something it is there that you have to read in that particular paper, isn't it?
Yes,
You are
sir.
taking one battery or two batteries for 124 commercial lithium, iron, phosphate, graphite cells.
Cells,
So
sir. A
taking
battery is not
124 cells means so many batteries.
No, sir. A battery can contain more than one cell, no, sir.
Yeah, in 12 volt battery, how many will be there?
I have no idea, sir.
12 cells will be there. Each cell is having 1.5 or 1.2 something. It is their cells. Inside it is connected only two terminals. You can say top of the battery, but inside all this interconnected, negative positive like that. Then only that voltage will calculate. Otherwise, the voltage simply if you put two plates, you will not get that much of voltage because all this plates has to be charged before giving the backup power. You know that power only will be given to the other equipment. So here, but you have collected from data. I think you are not taking any input from the battery, isn't it?
No, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. No manual input from battery.
Yeah, that is what I thought. You will be connecting the terminal to the battery, and there you are accessing some data. Based on that data, you are going to predict the life cycle of the battery.
No,
No,
sir.
you are talking. That's what I totally confused. Now it is clear that you are taking only the data set based
sir.
on phosphate and graphite plates. You know, sense.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Okay, continue.
The performance of the hybrid approach was compared with the state of art of other RVM and CNN models. It is observed that the hybrid approach outperforms with least mean percentage error. The advantages of using the hybrid approach is that it has a good generalization capability. It can produce reasonable outputs for new inputs that have not been seen by the model during its training process. So to conclude, this hybrid approach proposed a machine learning model for predicting the cycle life of a lithium battery using early cycle data with negligible capacity degradation. The future work will investigate how the number of artificially generated cells and the number of convolution layers affect the accuracy of the proposed model. These are the references. Thank you for your patience. Thank you.
No questions from my side. I don't know what the technology is all about. Okay.
Victor.
Sir.
What is the difference between hybrid machine learning and normal machine learning? Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, so I think what he's talking about here.
So
is
your hybrid machine learning, they are talking.
Yes, sir. So
only the normal machine learning and hybrid machine learning. What is the difference? You just tell him.
Yeah, sure, sir. So maybe I didn't pay attention so much because I was trying to understand the architecture of how they predicted with the battery life. So I think go back to where you said about hybrid machine learning. So this involves maybe like two architectures. Say example, yeah. So go back there, yes. So this is the hybrid approach, okay? See here, consists of shallow learning, which is what? Relevance vector machine and CNN. So in simple terms, so why hybridization is kind of a multimodal approach. Okay, let's use that one. Say maybe we want to predict the battery life, okay? Maybe what time it will drain completely. Instead of CNN, CNN works best when we use images. So when we use relevance vector machine here, then maybe accuracy was, did they report any accuracy, Sutish? Any accuracy, was anything reported here?
No accuracy, sir.
Nothing,
But
nothing.
the error was least when compared to other models. The hybrid error was least.
Okay. So maybe here, maybe they try, did they report error in terms of false positives, false negatives? What exactly, what kind of error? Or did they use root mean square to kind of show that it reduces? So how did they report that the error reduced? Because you cannot just say, right, the error reduced. There must be a kind of an analytical part of it that went into it that proved that yes, the error reduced when you use this hybrid approach and using only CNN. So was any table like that? Any analysis done?
Yes, sir. They have used two metrics, namely mean percentage error and root mean square error.
Okay, fine. Okay. So yes, HODG, that is the thing, because usually what happens here is this is generally called ensemble approach. Like when you are using a simple decision tree to predict maybe like whether somebody will default in a loan or not, that single decision tree might overfit or something. So they use multiple decision trees. Here they start with maybe random forest. So in the same case, since the input is what? Of what format? Input, is it an image or something, Sutish?
Sir, CNN is best suited for pattern recognition in image, sir. But
Okay.
we don't have any image.
Yeah, the input is the image of the battery, which shows the battery life, right?
No, sir, nothing, not like that, sir. We have used non-image data. I mean, the raw form of data.
Yeah, what was
Victor,
it?
what is the use of CNN here, yaar?
Yes, sir. So that's what. So the first thing is, what was the input, Sutish? What was the input? In which form?
Sir, it was in array, sir. A one-dimensional array. It is of pairs.
Okay, I got it. No. Where is the data set they use? Can you show the data set before we get into the CNN, sir? The data set serves as input output pair for optimizing. So where is this data set? Which data set are they talking about? Because see, what happens is, this is methodology. Publicly available data set consists of 124 commercial iron phosphate cells was employed in this study. So in this data set, what is the source? Because see, CNN works best when we have images. See, that image, we have to kind of flatten it, as in convert it into dimensions, because what happens is the computer sees only vectors, right? Which is x cross y cross z, right? So,
yes, sir.
Yeah, so see, 124 commercial lithium iron phosphate. I believe the input here is an image, no?
No, sir, it's not an image, sir. It's
It's
sir,
what?
At first, I thought CNN is best for pattern recognition in image, but they have not used any image. The dataset consists of pairs in an array format, one-dimensional array format. As you can see,
The array will come only to store the data. What he is asking, is there any image? What input you will take for this one? CNN. Array will come later. First, you just think about the input.
See, in the data set, what was exactly in the data set? See, we know array. What was it exactly? Did you have any data set in the CSV file or what exactly?
It was a CSV file, sir. It was large, so I didn't download it, sir. I just saw the overview.
Yeah, that's what, because see, you are reporting the work that was carried out by people, right? So we see, before we think of CNN or whatever, okay, this is the architecture of CNN. This is a general architecture, but as it, with relevance to the battery life, no? Okay, so anyway, okay, sir, so basically now when we look at this, we know that CNN works on the concept of what? Convolution and pooling, as you can see there, okay, and max pooling, okay. So in this case now, obviously the input has to be in form of x cross y, okay, it should be a vectorized format, but the computer will not understand images. Usually we take kind of maybe some stuff maybe as an image as input, but in this case now maybe if you feed in maybe like a kind of a raw fact or whatever data in that, then we convert it into what? Vectors. That vector we have to perform now, see here, 1D convolution. So in this case now, we took max pooling was what? What exactly did they do in max pooling? So you choose the maximum of all the convolutions, right? And then you feed it into the next layer. So how many layers did they choose? Because here you said something. The CNN
6
consists of
layers.
thousands of layers. How many
That is
layers
for,
are there?
that is for literature survey. I said.
Okay. I know. As regards, okay. Okay. This is for literature survey.
No, sir. That the thousands of layers. What I said was for literature survey. They have considered the 6 layers, 6
Okay.
one-dimensional convolution layer. Why one-dimensional means one-dimensional is best suited for the raw type of data, which is of time series type.
Yes, actually, I got your point, but please try maybe another. I will just stop here. Just send me. I want to see the data, okay? Because the first thing is you can train anything on anything, but we need to understand the data, right? Because your model is as good as the quality of data you feed into it. If I want to replicate this project, or maybe to an extent understand whatever they've done, I need to know the data set, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, somehow, even if you can't download, let me just refer it, okay? Just for knowledge sake, okay?
Okay, sir. I'll look into it.
Okay, sure.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye. Bye.
Why we are asking all these questions? Your input is not connected to your technology. What you are going to explain, something it is there that you are not rendered. I think because if you CNN, if you are using, maybe sometimes they are taking the picture of that cells based on that they can analyze and collect the data. Based on that images, they can predict the cells. So inside that cells and the structure of the inside that cell formats, if in particular plate, if the cells are gone, then the life of that this can be identified. Because if you take the one plate, if there are 800 this one atoms are there in that particular cell, if the 100 to 200 cells gone, then based on that image, you can identify the life of that particular plate. So like that, if you take the 124 or something plates, all these plates can be analyzed prediction of that cycle. And maybe it is there. You just once you read that paper,
Yes, sir. I'll look into it.
because if everything is okay, but input has to be clear, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here data is there. Why Victor is asking if you say give details about the data set, then they will come to know what type of the data set or what is the input. Based on that, you can collect. Even if you have that particular data set, you just read it again. Then you will come to know. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll look into it.
Good. Very good presentation. You answered almost all the questions. So the thing is, you should study well. First, see whatever the project, whatever the seminar you're going to tell. If somebody doesn't know anything about that particular technology, you have to educate him. We have to reach him by explaining everything, because that the two important aspect is, one is the input has to be very clear. Based on that, definitely we'll get a particular output. Isn't it?
Yes, sir. Correct. Yes,
So
sir.
that has to be in between. There is some technologies are applied. That has to be explained, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
good boy, Suchi. Okay, good. Bye. Next person.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.